Cough. Hello everyone. Today is February 8th, 2022, and it is 11:25 p.m. My name is Jackal here, and welcome back to the Juxtaposition. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about fear. This is a topic that just randomly came up at the end of the latest episode. My friend Oki Noki just said, "Yeah, tune in next week or next time when Jekyll talks about fear." Or specifically my greatest fear. I think we're gonna talk about fear just as a general concept, and we can get to mine. Um, Fear is a very interesting thing. It's I don't really know what it is. It's more like nature in humans. Like it's like a fight or flight thing. Like you fear something. Like if you are afraid of something, you're either gonna fight it or you're gonna like run away from it. Um, from personal experience, I'm not much of a fighter. I'm more of a runner. but um, yeah. I mean, there's like good reasons to run from like something, and there's good reasons to stand and fight. But I guess fight or flight doesn't really take effect much in modern day or in like current life because you're not really facing up something that is life or death unless you're somehow in the wilderness and you're surviving for your life. But I weirdly enough also have a another thing that comes along with fear. I have a D&D character that I've been wanting to debut for a while, and their main function is that they like to use fear to manipulate enemies. It's quite a very interesting build that I have, and I've wanted to use it for a while. Um, I don't really know where to like go with fear, but I feel like I'm not very educated with like a bunch of things that I talk about on this show or in this series, but um I guess I could just talk from personal experience. From a more like research point of things, I feel like fear is something that like we all are like born with from like experience. Like people can be afraid of let's say people can be afraid of bunnies from a horrible experience they had as a kid with a bunny. And they're like, "Oh no, bunnies." And I guess like fear can be with like any innate fear like arachnophobia or claustrophobia or something like that. Other things more like complex fears, more like fear of just like crowded spaces or fear of like getting rejected. Those things come with they come with experience as well, but I think they're more emotional, more an emotional thing and less of like a fear for your life type of fear. If you kind of understand what I mean. Personally, I have a couple fears. I mean, I wouldn't say that I don't, because then that would make me inhuman. But one that's just pretty basic, I guess, would just be fear of spiders. I mean, it's pretty common. Like, come on, have you seen a spider? They're why do they look like that? Why? Just why? I think they look like that because they're supposed to. They're supposed to be like leggy boys, and like they just kind of go around just like blip, 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 spitting webs. I don't know. Unironically enough, my favorite superhero is Spider-Man, but that's for a different topic. Um, Other fears? Fear of the dark. I mean, I guess it's gone down the more I've grown up and become more of an adult, and it's just become more of something that I don't really consider to be a fear because like I can you can get your eyes dilated enough where you can still see around you in the dark. Like if you're in your room and like there's a window and that's the only source of light, then it's not really a big deal. But I guess total darkness would be something that would be kind of terrifying, like lack of vision, I guess. Other fears, I guess fear of like eye contact or just like eyes in general. Eyes are the weirdest part of the body. And not like weird in like how they function, just like weird in like how like they look. I just don't like looking at eyes. That's a voice crack. I just don't looking at like I just don't like it because it feels like, especially when someone's taller than me. which is something quite rare because I am a decently tall individual. But regardless, if someone's taller than me and they're looking at me, I in the eyes, I'm looking at their eyes. I cannot do that. I have to just look somewhere else. It's more of like an intimidation factor, like just to look at someone in the eyes. Because if you're the one that's being intimidating, you can look them straight in the eyes. I can do that. I can look someone straight in the eyes, and if I'm being the one being intimidating, or just being like, huh, to someone. But if they're being intimidating to me, it's just like a fear tactic, I guess, or of sort of intimidation. I don't know. That's one fear I have. Fear number 3, because we got spiders, we got eyes. 3 is probably gonna be fear of, I guess, just rejection, or just straight up being told, no, we don't want you around. It kind of goes along with like the fear of missing out. For some extroverts, some extroverted people, they are afraid of missing out on events. For instance, if they want to go to a party but they have homework and they're like, oh no, I really want to be with my friends but I have homework, and it's just, what if they talk about me or stuff like that? They have like those fears. I don't know how extroverts work. I'm not one. As an introvert, I'm afraid of being rejected. I would rather be invited to a party and just deny it. I would be fine with that. But if I'm just flat out rejected and they say, no, you're not invited to our party, then I'm gonna, they obviously think lesser of me, and it just makes me feel bad inside. It's a very interesting fear to have, and I feel like a lot of introverts have it. Other fears? I guess just, this is gonna sound weird because I'm also an introvert, but loneliness, just being alone. I can be um alone. Like, it's good to have alone time. But like complete and utter isolation where there's no one. You were completely isolated from society and people. That fears me because I would have just no one to interact with. In this idea of like the pandemic during COVID, I guess it wasn't as bad because we have the internet. If we didn't have the internet, we would all be going crazy. We would kind of be going a little wacky inside the brain without social interactions online. Even social interactions online, that's enough to suffice for being with people. For me, at least. I'm gonna go on a tangent. Some people think that if you have online friends, they are not your real friends. I've heard this from some people, I will not say who, but I think it is just absolutely false. Because my connections with people online, I feel like, are stronger than people that I've met in person. That being said, you don't have as much connection, like physical connection with people in person. In person connection is something that's very important. That is my rant. Other fears? I don't know. Um, it's just a stupid one, I guess. Just fear of animatronics. It's not like major. I think it just had to do with like Five Nights at Freddy's for like a bit when I was like in middle school, because I would see someone play the game and I'd be like scared. And it sounds silly now, but like I guess it's not as not as much now, I guess. I don't really know what else. I guess like, I don't know. Fear of the elements, I guess. I mean, everyone's afraid of the elements, like freezing to death, burning to death, drowning, suffocating. I feel like those are just all innate fears that everyone has. Same with like dying. The thing with dying, I feel like, I don't think it's inherently scary. Like, sure, you're dead. You're gonna be you're in the process of dying. But I don't know. I feel like it's something that like wouldn't be that bad. I don't really know where to go with this, but like, I guess just as like a sort of like calmness that kind of goes over you as like you kind of just like pass out, and then you just kind of like wake up somewhere else. I don't know. Could be heaven, could be hell, could be purgatory, could be like somewhere else, could be reincarnation. It could be something completely different. I don't know. We don't know. But it's like a little gamble. You don't know where you're gonna go. You don't know where your next adventure is gonna be, but you know, your previous one was it turned out you know. I don't know where to go. Oh my god, it turned out. I'm so sorry for voice cracking. That is two in one episode. Goodness. Um, I guess yeah, just innate fears that everyone has, just death, suffocation, just things that can kill you with like elements. There was a video that I watched where it was talking about like the fear of the cold, and I think that's like a really they did a really good job um just like portraying with like certain pieces of literature and like media of like what fear of the cold and fear of like the elements can be. I can link it down in the description, but it's really cool. It's you should check it out. I can't really describe it as well as he can, but it's like 15-minute long video. It's super cool. Totally watch it. Um I don't know other things with fear. Everyone has different fears. I feel like I should have stated this at the beginning, but everyone has different fears. Some people have the same fears. I think it's pretty common. There's a lot of common fears, but everyone has a different story to tell, and someone might fear the same thing as someone else, but for a different reason. I don't know. I think that's interesting. But other than that, I guess I have nothing else to talk about fear with. And thank you for watching. I don't know what I'm gonna do next episode, but I guess it'll just come to me, you know? It'll just be something that I just think about and I'll ponder it all day and be like, yep, we're gonna talk about this. And yeah, I think that'll be good. Consider subscribing, follow my Twitch. There will be more episodes out soon. I think I've got like I don't know what else. I don't think I have any projects or any updates, but yeah. Hope you all have a good evening. Goodbye.